Okay, I got the axle in that far. And it's kind of hard not to hit the seal with the axle, but, well, you know what I mean. Don't drag it across it, all right? So then what you want to do is you want to pick it up. See how the angle is? Pick it up a little bit, lift it up. And as you're doing that, you want to push it in and try to line it up into that differential side gears. All right. You just have to watch. Pick it up, slide it in a little bit, and I'm trying to find the hole inside there. I found it. You see, I'm picking it up the axle, so it's on the inside. Found it in the hole. Now I'm gonna pick up on this part of the axle a little bit, relieve some of the pressure, and just push it in and give it little turns here and there. Now it's stopped out. Now I'm just gonna turn it a little bit so it goes in. And then you find the notch and push it all the way in. Now you can go inside and see if your C-clip goes in. If your C-clip doesn't go in, then you have to push this axle in a little bit more. I'll go do the other side for you. Let's do the same thing to the other side. All right. This side's ready to go. Here we go, huh? Try not to drag it across it. Try to use the bearing as much as possible. Okay. Okay, it's in there now. I need to lift it up, find the hole, get it in there, then I'll relieve the pressure on the outer part, push it in, turn it a little bit, find some notches, keep turning it, find another notch, and push it all the way in. Okay, now it's all the way in. Now I gotta go inside the pumpkin, put my C-clips in. Okay, find your C-clips. You look at them and see one side looks like that, and the other side is like that. This is the inner, and this is the outer. Not the outer, but this side goes to the button. Get your magnet. Find your hole. What I want to do is stick it up in there like that. Push it in there. And when you got it pushed in there, you need to hold on to it and then push the axle out. Okay? See if I can do that. Oh, without disturbing you. All right, I'm over here. All right, pull the axle. Did the button disappear? No, it's still noticeable. So I need to make sure it gets inside there. I need to push it with my fingers best I can. Pull that axle out. Let's see. Make sure it's disappearing. I'm doing it, put the screwdriver in there and give it a little twist. Push it. Now I'm gonna push on the whole clip. Okay. That one's good. Now all I need to do is look at the other one. And remember, this one was a little bit tighter. I had to put that C-clamp, not C-clamp, I had to put the big vice grips on it. What I'm gonna do now is clean off my C-clip and just see if I can push it in there. Okay. It goes in at an angle. I'm using my C-clip to hold it. Push it. Okay, now what I can do is get my hammer, tap it in a little bit with my extension and my socket. It's going in there pretty easy. I gotta make sure that it's in there properly. It's not in there all the way. My socket's bottoming out, so now I can use my screwdriver. Yep. It's in there, it's not falling out. I'll hold it up in there. Pull my axle. Okay, pulled on it. C-clip is kind of disappearing a little bit. Get in there with my screwdriver. Pry it over best I can. Remember, this one was a little tight. Okay, hopefully they're in there far enough. And I can take my pin and it will go in through there nicely. My pin, or whatever. Going through one. I just got to get it into that block that's in the center. Sometimes you turned it and it gets misaligned. Stick your finger down and then you want to feel how bad it's off. It's not off that much, so it should go pretty good. I just and then go to the axle. Move your axle back and forth a little bit. Sometimes they might be hitting the buttons. Not the buttons, but yeah, the buttons on the end of the shafts. So you need to pry the shafts out a little bit more, because that's probably where they're getting stuck on. So go pry your shafts out a little bit. Pry the shaft against the brake shoe. See if that works. Yep, see? The left side was hanging up. Okay. So drop down in there. And you want to push that in there the rest of the way. But you don't want to have it falling all the way through. So put your hand down the bottom. Tap on it a little bit. Make sure you just pin goes in there, the bolt goes in there, the bolt goes in. It's fine. So now what I'm going to do is turn my axle, my drive shaft back, so I can put my socket on there and tighten it up. Okay. Just like that. Now I'm going to tighten that up. Okay, you get the idea? Hopefully you could see everything, because I couldn't see what you're seeing. Now you need to snug up that bolt. Okay, now if you want to torque that bolt, you're going to turn the whole differential. So what you want to do is go put it back in park, okay? And then put your little shifter knob back on there. And put some little grease on the little tab on that shifter shaft. So when you push it on there, it goes on there nice. All right. I'm put it back in park. In park, I got a little bit of grease, so glad on my finger. I'm put it inside that hole. Okay. And I'm gonna line it up. Lined up, get my screwdriver in there, pry against it. I need my pry bar. It's not big enough. Alright. Pry up against it flatly and then just give it a good shove. And go over to it and push on it. It doesn't come off, so that's good. Alright. Okay, back to the differential now. What you want to do is go to your axles and see if you can pry on them a little. Put a little force against them. Just to make sure that the buttons are holding them in. Which are fine. Okay. So we're good. And just for kicks, put your hand down here, see if they fell out on you, which they didn't. And then also you want to feel around for, see if you feel any metal in there. Because there's a magnet at the bottom and it picks up all the pieces of metal. And it's got pieces of chunks of metal in there. These limited slips, they don't last. So if it doesn't last, just go ahead and put a posi in it. I'd rather have a posi than these limited slips anyway. Okay, so now we're ready to go together. What you want to do is you want to clean this surface up. Put a rag over your ring gear and your case here. Put a rag over it. Clean that all up. Take the rag off. Spray it down. Get all the dirt out of there best you can. And do the same thing with your cover. And install your cover with your gasket. You put some little bit of silicone on your gasket. Okay. Okay, now that you get it all cleaned up, all you need to do is put your cover on with your gasket. I put a little bit of silicone on mine. Got my bolts all cleaned up. And you want to get them started. Get it up there, hold it, find one of your holes, get it started. And grab a couple more bolts. Make sure you find them. Alright. Get them started. Alright. Don't forget about this one and that one. Take a bracket. Okay? That pinion bolt that's inside here, you wanted to torque that to 30 foot-pounds. I forgot to tell you. Hopefully I'm not too late. 25 to 30. And you want to snug all these, tighten these all up to 24 foot-pounds. Yeah, put your brackets on there. Get the brake line. That one's going to be a little booger because the hole's smaller than the bolt. Okay, flip this one around. Get that one in there. I got one more right here. So, work yourself around, you know, snug them up and then tighten them up. Okay? And then let that sit. If you put silicone on, let it sit, let it cure for a little while you're doing or putting your brakes back together. Okay. Clean up your rotor as best as possible. If you're putting a new rotor on, put the new rotor on. Put some anti-seize on the axle hub assembly before you put the rotor on. Get your rotor on. Get your caliper bracket on, and you want to torque that bracket to 90 foot-pounds, the two bolts, the big ones. And you can put your brake pads in. If you're getting new brake pads, make sure you get your bundle clip hardware mounted already. Put your pads in. Remember, put the pad with the squeak indicator up on the inside because that's towards the rotation of the rotor. Put your pads in, squeeze them together. Put your caliper on. Put your two caliper bolts on. And you want to torque those to 20 foot-pounds. And then there you go. Then you need to do is put your tires on. And you want to torque those to 140 foot-pounds. And then you need to put your gear lube in. But you want to put your additive in first. Okay? And I'm going to look up what kind of gear lube it takes. Okay. Let's see. You got your C-clips in. You got the pinion shaft in with the retainer bolt. You torque the retainer bolt to 25 to 30 foot-pounds. It's the pin actually, pin bolt. And you double check to make sure you can't pull the axles out so the C-clips are in. Now you cleaned it all up, now you put the cover on, put a little bit of silicone on your gasket, put it on there. Torqued your cover bolts to 23 to 25 foot-pounds. Let it sit and cure if you had silicone on it. Put your tires on, get your brakes on. Torque your tires to 140 foot-pounds. Now if you're going to use certain types of gear lube, I'm using 7590 synthetic, and it comes with the additive for the limited slip. But if your gear lube doesn't have limited slip additive in it, then you need to add the additive now beforehand, because otherwise if you pour it in there when there's already fluid in there, it's just going to pour right back out. Okay, so now I'm going to put in my gear lube. Alright, and make sure you got your shifters back in the park position and the cable hooked up. And if your differential cover has the plug in it, it takes a 3/8 square drive, which is on your 3/8 ratchet. You can remove that. And there's a gasket that's on it, so make sure you don't tear the gasket. Keep an eye for it. Alright. Okay, I got close to 3.5 quarts in it, and it's starting to come out. I want to overfill it. Okay. I'll explain why. It's coming out pretty good, so that's pretty good. And just put your plug on it. You don't have to tighten it up, just let it sit. What I want it to do is my axle's nice and level, pretty good. I want to overfill it. So it can drain, the fluid can drain past the side bearings and into your axle tubes. Because when you had it sitting here with the cover off, the axle tubes are draining all their fluid out. So what you want it to do is to put a little bit of, get as much in the axle tubes as possible so it gets to the axle bearings when you're driving. Okay, so you don't want to have them run dry. So what I always do, I'll overfill it, let it drain, and then I'll come back over here and I'll take the plug out. And if nothing comes out, then I know I need to add more fluid. But if a lot comes out, then I'll just let it drain out the filler until it starts to be a fine stream, and then I'll put the plug in and tighten it up, and that's when I'm done. Okay? The reason why is because I wanted to fill up the tubes. Okay, and let it sit 10 to 15 minutes and see what comes out. Not bad. Just wait a little bit here and drain some out. Looking pretty good, I like it. Alright, I'm going back in and cover it up. I'm good. Make sure your gasket's on there. Make sure the gasket's pushed all the way down, because it'll keep you from threading it in. Okay. There we go. Thread it in. Tighten it up. You want to probably tighten it up like 30 foot-pounds, 25. And then clean it up. Spray it down. Wipe off the residue. You don't want to think you got a leak or anything when you don't. Okay. That's it. Clean it up. Okay. Your fluid's in, your tires are torqued, your buttons are in, your pinion shaft's in, your pinion shaft retainer pin is in, you got that torqued, you got your gear shifter on. So all you need to do is you got your fluid in there, lower it down, go inside the vehicle, start it up, push the brake pedal to the floor a couple times just to make sure you got a good firm pedal before you put it in drive or reverse. And that's it. And that's how you do your rear axle seals. Okay, if I helped you out, that's awesome. If you can help me out by subscribing, I appreciate it. And I just want to thank you. I hope I helped you out.